Are deportation laws racist? In 1996, Congress passed two laws that fundamentally changed the rights of all foreign-born people in the United States: the Anti-Terrorism and Effective Death Penalty Act and the Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigrant Responsibility Act. These laws eliminated judicial review of some deportation orders and required mandatory detention for many non-citizens. 5 million people have been deported from the United States since these laws were passed. That's more than twice the sum total of all people deported prior to 1996. Some of the most pernicious consequences of these laws have to do with the deportation of legal permanent residents, commonly referred to as green card holders. Under these laws, legal permanent residents face mandatory detention and deportation if convicted of an aggravated felony. Aggravated felonies are crimes for which a person is sentenced to at least 1 year in prison, regardless of whether the sentence is served or suspended. And these crimes can be relatively minor. For example, Emma Mendez de Hey is a legal permanent resident and mother of 4 U.S. citizen children. She faced deportation for translating a phone conversation. Ms. Mendez de Hey answered the phone in her home, and the caller asked for her cousin. Her cousin, who didn't speak English very well, told Emma to tell the caller he would help him the next day. Ms. Mendez de Hey relayed the message and hung up. It turned out the caller was an undercover narcotics officer. Ms. Mendez de Hey was charged with using a communication device to facilitate the distribution of cocaine. Her case went to court in 1990. She pled guilty in exchange for a promise that she would not be recommended for incarceration and would not be deported. However, when the laws changed in 1996, this deal became null and she became deportable due to the reclassification of her crime as an aggravated felony. Immigration agents arrested her at the airport when she returned to the United States from a trip to Italy with her fiancé. The 1996 laws had reclassified her 1990 offense as an aggravated felony, and she now faced mandatory detention and deportation. With an aggravated felony conviction, Mendez de Hey did not have the right for a judge to hear the specifics of her case or consider her ties to the United States. She wasn't even eligible for a bond hearing. Notably, the law was applied retroactively. Her crime was redefined as an aggravated felony years after she had agreed to the plea bargain. The 1996 laws are punitive and harsh. Moreover, they have disproportionately affected Blacks and Latinos. Whereas the immigrant population includes many whites and Asians, deportees are almost exclusively Black and Latino. 97% of deportees are sent to Latin America and the Caribbean. And Dominican and Jamaican legal permanent residents are 5 times more likely to be deported than legal permanent residents from other countries. The 1996 laws are punitive and deny immigrants due process rights in deportation proceedings. Moreover, they have had a disproportionate effect on people of color. This pattern is consistent with other instances of institutional racism in this country. Immigration laws are colorblind in their language, but racially discriminatory in their implementation. These practices and policies do not simply isolate and remove immigrants of color, but also have detrimental effects on their families who are, in most cases, also people of color. Because of patterns of segregation, There are whole communities of Latin American immigrants where children are growing up witnessing their mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, neighbors, and community leaders being told they have no right to be here, and in many cases being forcibly removed from their communities. Just as African American children often grow up knowing that Black people are more likely than other groups to be behind bars, Latin American and Caribbean immigrants grow up knowing that people like them are being expelled from this country at a rate of nearly 1,000 people a day.